bring on Steve Forbes from Wake Forest. If you've got a question for Steve, just go ahead and use the raise hand tool.
Hey guys, I'm sure everybody missed me last week, so here I am.
They were, yeah.
I'm sure they're devastated.
Yeah, devastation is a nice way of putting it. Yeah, but
I was
Brooks did
devastated.
well.
I was very devastated. Let's go.
I'm sure you were, right? Connor O'Neill, you're up first.
Steve, Brooks did great. On the subject of Brooks, what do you like about having a coordinator-based assistant pool, and what advantages do you see that giving you this year and last year?
Yeah, you got to change, and I was ready for that. I study football. It's one of my college football is probably my favorite sport besides basketball. I think everybody's a little bit more engaged. And I mean that from experiences, like when it was my scout, I was as an assistant, I was into everything. I was yelling, screaming, offense, defense. And then it wasn't my scout. I wasn't as engaged, or I just went recruiting. I think in this situation, you hear the same voice talking about the same vocabulary every time you present offense, and you have the same voice and the same vocabulary every time you present the defense. So it's a little bit harder for those guys because they're involved in every scout, but they're also involved in every game. And I think most important thing is the best thing for the players. And so I have a very talented staff. As you guys know, I'm not a micromanager. And so why not use them to play to their strengths and cover up my weaknesses? And I have a lot of those. And so I like it, and we'll continue to do it.
You've been on a lot of different staffs in a lot of different places. Is the genesis from any of those places, or was it just based on what you saw with your guys?
Probably both. I mean, I think it's very ego-driven at times for assistant coaches. They tend to have their own record for wins and losses on their scouts, which is bullshit. And so I don't like that. I like team. And so I think it's more cohesive when everybody's involved in every scout. Nobody's doing a better job than anybody else. We're all pulling in the same direction. And so I like that better than anything.
Thank you, Steve.
Don Dell, go ahead.
Yeah, Steve, coaches like you guys like to talk about every game is big, but do you approach this week any differently maybe than in other weeks? I know you got, NC State and Notre Dame coming.
No, I don't think so. I think, to be honest, we had a blown opportunity on Saturday to get a quad one win on the road in Miami. We got another opportunity on Wednesday. We got to win those games, and so those are important games if you're trying to get in the conversation, because of the way that the metrics work. I don't necessarily agree with them, but it's what we use. And so I think you got to be honest with the players, about where we're at in these games that we got to win. We got to win them all, but some are more important than others. We won a game last Saturday against Georgia Tech, went down 6 in the net. No, I think we went down 6 and they went up 8. Figure that one out. I'm bad at math, but that don't make any sense to me. And so I think that you just have to tell them the truth, and it's the end of the season. It's 2 weeks left in the season. Let's go. It's go time.
Josh Graham, go ahead.
Steve, in the spirit of telling them the truth, I think the idea of a must-win game is kind of used loosely, but in the context of the net that you're describing, and given this is the last quad one game you've got, would you classify this as a must-win game?
I mean, for a quad one win, yeah, because it's the last opportunity, that we have. We got Wisconsin out there floating at, 78 allegedly. We're not even in the top 75. Like we're 76 today. I haven't looked in a long time, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. We have a good basketball team, and when we beat Wisconsin, you ever been to Wisconsin? Pretty tough place to win. They came off a win over NC State, overtime loss to Kansas. After they lost to us, they went and beat Marquette at Marquette. And I just am a firm believer in that. It also depends on when you play the team and how they're playing at that time. And so, I think it is because of opportunities to try to put yourself in the conversation, which I don't think we're in right now.
Luke DeCock, go ahead.
Hey, Steve. Good morning. Still morning. Good morning. I know you've only done a couple ACC tournaments and haven't been to all of the sites, but in your experience, other places, is there anywhere the ACC tournament hasn't been in a while or has never been that you would like to see it go?
Lawrence Joel Memorial Coliseum would be a great place. Asheville, North Carolina, because I've been in 4 or 5. I was at East Tennessee State for 5 years, went to the championship 4 years. So selfishly, I think I'd play better in that building. I don't know. Charlotte, I'm selfish. I mean, get on the bus and go down there. It's a great city. Obviously Greensboro is awesome. I haven't been to DC, so I'm looking forward to that. And I haven't, one time to Brooklyn, but I would say probably Charlotte would be the most logical choice for me.
Okay, thank you.
We'll go to Cam Lemons DeBro.
Hey, Steve. So I guess more from an X's and O's standpoint, what have you learned about NC State from the last month or so since you've played them? And, what do you think you need to fix going in the Wednesday?
Yeah. I mean, they got a really good team. I think Kevin's done one of the best jobs in the league. He's got to be up for Coach of the Year award. Did an unbelievable job recruiting in the portal. I counted today. He's got 6 guys, transfers that are all productive players. I know one of them's hurt. They got great backcourt, but they also have the best post scorer in the league, in my opinion, in DJ Burns, which causes major problems. And he's a great passer. And so you got to figure out how you're going to guard him. You got to change it up, the looks. We did a pretty good job on him in the first half here and did a really bad job on him in the second half. We had the game kind of going the way we wanted it to go, and then they made a great charge there late and won the game, and most of that credit goes to him, except the one time we did double him, he spun out of it. He threw to the corner for a made 3, which I was petrified of. He's a great passer. So he causes you a lot of problems on how you have to decide to guard him. We'll have some new things for him, some that we didn't do last time. But, we just played a great backcourt in Miami, and I think that NC State has just as good. Morcell, Smith, who am I forgetting, guys? I'm bad at names. Who's the other guard? Joyner. Jeez. Great player. And those guys all are tough and calloused players. And so I think they're really, really, really good. And I think it's going to be a really hard game. And it looks like to me the place has been packed in there. And so there'll be a lot of energy in the building, I'm sure.
Last question, I'll go to John Dell.
Yeah, Steve, Mike Bray's coming next Saturday. He's wanting whiskey or wine. Are you beer and burger for him, or what's going to be his parting gift?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably give him a cigar. I don't know. We share the same birthday, so we probably like some of the same things. I'm sure he's not going to pass down anything that's free. And so whatever I give him, I'm sure he'll either drink or smoke. And so I don't know. I haven't had a cigar since December, since we lost to LSU, which is really killing me. And so maybe I'll just share one with him. And so that might be it. I don't want to blow it. And he's probably listening, knowing him, and so if, when Young retires, I know he's after me. I'm just going to give him a bag of popcorn. Other than that, I guess I'll give him a cigar.
Steve, thank you. Appreciate it. See you next week. All right. Speaking